My name's Elizabeth Chase, and today we have a very exciting Spaces talk, and we're going to talk about a new exchange that we just found listing HBAR, and he has some things to say about the Asian market from his perspective, which is really very interesting in a global perspective. And Ben Graham is going to be talking about how charting and emotions play as we grow in HBAR. I think it's good to know about different exchanges and what they offer, and also to have a little bit of knowledge about charting. So, BoxTradeEx, Kenji Chen is with us. He's the operation and marketing, and he's located in Taipei, Taiwan. So
Yeah,
that's a bit far from us. How are you today, Kenji?
I'm great and I'm glad to be here. And currently in Taipei, we are at 5 a.m. Friday. Yeah, and but I'm excited to share us and share what we are doing and what we love and excited to join HBAR community.
Oh, thank you very much. We look forward to speaking with you all about your trading platform. So, BoxX Trading's mission is to free the barriers of exchanging currencies in a global sense, fiat to crypto and crypto to fiat. And I've been reading about your company, Kenji, and you were sort of inspired by Satoshi of Bitcoin. Is that correct?
Yeah. We are early adopter of Bitcoin and cryptocurrency, and we are trying to develop better trading platform for crypto lovers.
And how long have you been having HBAR on your exchange?
Uh, we are we are processing during a long due diligence on HBAR, and for me I'm a HBAR holder for many for like a year, and we are just listing HBAR a hydro coin in our exchange, and we can provide it. You can use our trading bot, which like grid trading strategy and DCA strategy on our platform, and we will support HBAR withdraw and deposit in I think in next month because it needs some time to run in the liquidity system. But now currently you can use our platform, and while we offer some free trading capital for HBAR community to trade HBAR and accumulate HBAR in BoxTradeExchange.
Yes. Is your platform global?
Yeah, we are now open globally for every country, especially like China, like America. Also, especially we are now originate from Taiwan, and we support all the Asia country, also the USA. So no matter where you from, and no matter where you are, you can register BoxTradeExchange and pass the KYC. You can get free 20 USDT to experience our platform and begin trading.
In general, can you tell us what the community in Asia is like with regard to HBAR? Are they familiar with it?
I think HBAR is more popular, more aware from the United States or UK, but in Asia is less popular in here. So why we are trying to build awareness of HBAR and Hydra Hashgraph from BoxTrade, and in BoxTrade we want to give some support to HBAR community, and especially we want to support the promotion of HBAR, and while HBAR are currently working for, and while we are vision to provide to the whole humanity.
That's wonderful. I see that Ben, you've joined us. Is that are you online now?
I'm here. Yep. Sorry,
Oh,
I didn't know I had to be on my phone.
that's okay. That's okay. We're happy to have you. Ben Graham is from Crowd Designs Group, and you're in the United Kingdom, right, Ben?
I'm in the United States,
Oh,
actually.
you're in the U.S. Oh, great.
Yeah. I do not have a very cool British accent that I sometimes am jealous of when I'm listening to these things.
Do you have? Can you introduce yourself to the community and tell us a little bit why you got into HBAR and your charting experiences?
Yeah, sure. I get a lot of questions about kind of what I do and where I came from and that kind of thing. So if I could just take a minute, I actually have been, I grew up in Florida in the swamps. Um, I'm a country guy. I lived in a log cabin. I grew up probably in lower class type family. My parents were pastors, so kind of a unique life growing up. I started a band after high school and ended up doing really well. We signed record deals. We did the whole thing. We toured the world. Did really well. It was a really cool and a life experience for me, and I learned a lot through that as well. Um, I have my own company now with a friend of mine, and we do audio video lighting design and integration for very large I don't know, corporations. It's all commercial stuff. So um, that's kind of where I came from. That's my background. The reason I say that is because I get a lot of questions about, is this what I do full time? And it's not at all. So something that I fell into back in like 2016, really, 2000 maybe end of 15. Started getting into it. I really missed out because I had some friends very early on that were mining Bitcoin and Litecoin back when it was under $100, and were telling me all about it. And we talked about maybe we should build this computer with a cooling system and try to mine and all this stuff. Well, they ended up doing it. I did not, unfortunately. And then in 2015, I kind of got reintroduced to it, and that's how I fell into it. So I was able to be a part of the 2017 run and learned a lot through that. And I was, because of that, also a part of the gigantic bear market we were in for years as well. So I think I learned even more through that. And so yeah, that's kind of where I am. I'm a self-taught when it comes to charting. I encourage people to do this all the time. But I used to follow just a lot of people and just kind of go off what they said, and that's just what I did. And it was okay, but I was putting like too much. I don't know, too much faith in what they were saying online. And I say this all the time about myself. You shouldn't make any kind of major decisions on just something that I say. So when I started really just opening up a chart on TradingView, the free version, whatever, and started drawing lines and trying to find different, you know, trend lines and kind of just learning on my own, that's when things started getting a lot better for me. And it took me a few years. I mean, it's all very subjective, obviously, the charts. If you're a bull, then you can fight for that bull look on a chart. If you're a bear, you can go that way too. So I try to stay unbiased and kind of just look at it logically and watch for the certain levels and support levels and how the price action is reacting to them. You guys know I'm not a big prediction guy. I just don't do it. I used to, and I was wrong all the time. So I kind of backed off and just kind of stick to like what's going on today. What's the price action doing? What do we have? What are the support and resistance lines? What are the options that we have? So that's kind of how I do it. And no, I do not do this full time whatsoever. I am heavily invested in crypto, and have been pretty open about that. And HBAR is the largest holding that I have. I can say I've only bought HBAR. I've never sold. So um, I've been in since early on. I got to give that to Credible, who when he started talking about it.
Credible Crypto.
Yes, yeah, that's who I got to give credit to on how I heard about HBAR and when I got in. So, got to give him the props for that for sure.
Well, I think a lot of the Hadarians buy and just hold HBAR. That's why I thought it would be interesting to have the charting aspect of HBAR along with the trading aspect of HBAR. As the price increases, I see people saying, well, they would consider selling at $10 or $1. And part of charting, I believe, is also developing a trading strategy of when to buy and when to sell. Do you think along those lines when you do charting, Ben?
Yeah, absolutely. I say I haven't sold anything yet. I plan to sell. And that doesn't mean that I don't believe in what's going on in the project. I mean, trying to make just a really simple observation here. Like if you buy Coca-Cola stock, you buy it because you like Coke, and then the price goes up, and then you sell it because you made a lot of money, and other people that like Coke bought it from you. That doesn't mean you don't like Coke anymore. You still like Coke and you still drink it, and you can buy it again on a different cycle. So I completely agree with you. The the magic and all that is when you actually buy and when you sell, and I think that's that's the overwhelming struggle that most of us probably fall into, especially new traders and people that are kind of just jumping into this for the first time. I mean, that was me during the first bull run, jumping in, not really knowing, and just seeing the price just going up. And I'm just thinking, I'm going to get rich. Everything is just going up. It's never going to stop.
Right.
And then just like that, the closer you are to the top, you're also closer to the end as well. So it's, yeah, it's that's the overall battle I think everybody really kind of fights, whether you're doing it full time or not. I mean, it's always trying to buy and sell at the right times.
Yeah, I think, well, I doubt any of us are doing this full time, but one of the things I always look at in a chart is not so much how much the asset costs, but the percentage of increase possible.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm not going around just looking for something that costs, a tenth of a penny. I have tweeted some stuff out about what I call lotto plays, where things really are, a tenth or a 20th of a penny, and I'll throw some money just in case something crazy happens. But yeah, I don't really look so much at the price. I look at the charts and the past of the chart. I think a lot of times people get caught up in looking at the chart and the price right now and seeing it and not scrolling to the left, and seeing the history of what this project has done and how it's grown or how it's not grown. How maybe we're just in some kind of crazy pump on some odd coin, and you just kind of FOMO in. So yeah, I totally agree with you. The percentages is where it's at when it comes to trading, not necessarily the price or the cost of what you're buying. And
Yeah, I
that
think
just
would be benefit from knowing, there's a, I always say you're an investor or
yeah,
you're a trader, but you can actually be a little bit of both.
yeah, absolutely. That's what I am. I got in as an investment early on, and then I started trading, almost 100% trading. Like I kind of just jumped out of the investment thing, and I am a bit of a gambler. Um, I I really really enjoy numbers and lines, and I see patterns, and I don't know. So I like that stuff. I like to try to win. I like to try to buy the bottom and sell the top. So I kind of got into that. I didn't kind of get into it. I got into it pretty deep, and so much so that it did start affecting my life in a number of different ways, good ways sometimes, and a lot of bad ways as well.
That's part of the emotional aspect of things. I traded options in my day, and it can be very stressful and it can be overwhelming in doing that. It's always on your mind. And with it, as opposed to like the NASDAQ or the big board, it never stops.
Right. That's a good point. You can trade options, which I did as well, and did really well sometimes, and got completely wrecked on other times.
Right.
But yeah, it ends, and so you get this breathing time of taking some time off. Where crypto obviously is 24/7, and so when I got really deep into the trading side of it, it got so bad for me that like I had my computer open on a table beside my bed, and I would just have it up and open, through the night. And
Yes.
so it was affecting my sleep. It was affecting my family life, my marriage. It was affecting just my life in general. Like I was so deep into it emotionally and mentally that it kind of just took over. And it was just that will to, want to win and want to, make the right choice. And those, when you get into it that deep, and you're that emotionally and mentally tied to it, when those losses come, they are they're brutal for you, and they hit all different types of areas in your life. So when the wins come, obviously it's great, when you feel good about yourself and whatever. But it's those losses, if you're that deep into it, that are more affecting your life than the wins, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think that does come from the background of being around in 2017 and riding that Bitcoin wave. And I
Yep.
know that Ben, you haven't met Kenji yet, but Kenji is our guest from BoxTradeEx, and he was also inspired by. He's been in the crypto space a long time, and he's also inspired by the decentralized nature of the internet and how uh, Satoshi and Bitcoin. Could change the world, and we're living in that W3 world right now. What do you have to? What are your thoughts on what Ben has been saying, Kenji?
I think I have seen problem before, and I got some ideas, and I inspired by Ben. Because I am actually, for me, I'm Kenji, and from Australia, and I I am forex trader and also analyst before, when I just participate in crypto space, and I usually it was a traditional finance worker.
I
And
see.
then yeah, so I the problem which Ben experienced before is also I experienced a same problem like him. Like the Ben says, he shared his problem. Like he can sleep. He was for mentally in thinking about the price, thinking about the trend, and also we were also struggling in how to make profit every day, right? We want to change our lives for a better future. And also I am also a member of Charter Financial Analyst, which is also called a CFA. So the problem I face, and also I face a lot of investor, no matter you are a stock investor, option investor, or forex investor, or even crypto, right? But in crypto world, the volatility issue is more a severe problem, and it introduces the emotional bias, emotional behavior, which which will lead the investor to make mistake, make wrong investment decision on crypto or on the target you want to invest in. So that's why I joined BoxTrade and founded and developed BoxTrade with our founder Chester. We want to provide I think it's more efficient, more effective, less less risk exposure, and we can solve some problem like me or like Ben or like other investor they face, like the emotional bias, the bad emotional behavior. So that's why we founded and developed BoxTrade, because we want to provide automatic tool. You can see as a supportive tool to help you, to assist investor that we can execute our investment decision more efficiently, more effectively, and without any human interfere, without any bad emotional behavior. Yeah, so we want to solve the problem that many, no matter what you are newbie, no matter what you are some experienced investor, but we are humankind, right? Human have emotional, and they may lose control. We are not we can maintain our, we can be a, I think, be a great or perfect trader, perfect investor anytime. So we need some support. We need some like assistant to help us to invest or accumulate crypto or even HBAR. Right? Like me, I hold HBAR for a year. Yeah, and also I hold a lot of cryptocurrency as well. But let me have some problems. Is that like HBAR? I think most of H barbarian or H barber are anticipating and waiting for, I think, for a long time to staking their H bar or to use more efficiently to earn more H bar, earn more profits.
Excuse
By
me, did you say staking? Are you talking about staking?
yeah. Yeah, staking. Yeah,
Uh-huh.
yeah.
May I ask the your platform is different than say like a Coinbase or a Bittrex in that it provides different tools. Is that correct? What kind of tools?
Yeah. What I want to say is that most of HBAR trade holder like me, we want to use our HBAR, use our token more efficiently and with less risk exposure, right? Like Ben, what he faces is that we all have some emotional behavior when we trade, and we are struggling, and we want to improve our analytic skill. We are improve our prediction of HBAR or even other currency. So what BoxTrade offer is that we are developing many kind of supportive strategy, but it's automatically help you to execute your investment decision. Like one for example, like gray trading. I think it's most popular in the world. There are some forex trader or even bond trader or crypto trader. They want to grab the profits during the market volatile situation. Just like if you are a trader, you know the Bitcoin or even HBAR, they have a lot of huge volatility during these days, right? We just saw HBAR running all-time high to 0.5 level, and then he was as the HBAR is at 0.3 level. So during this consolidation phase, if you just hold and if you didn't have a great option, great investment strategy to use this time, use the consolidation, use this volatility, you will lose some profit to earn. You
Mhm.
will lose the chance to earn more HBAR or earn more profit. So we are providing like great trading strategy, the DCA strategy. Those strategy can be an assistant to help traders or investor to grab the profit or even take profit arbitrage in the market when the market is in the consolidation phase.
Mhm.
When H bar swing up to 0.5 and down plunge to 0.3, during this phase, if you are just a holder, you can win, right? You can win or earn more H bar during the market swing up and down, but with the other option, you may have to use these tools. While we are offer in BoxTrade, you can use this tool to get more. You can use HBAR to earn more HBAR, just like staking, right? And even though the HBAR, the hydro system, doesn't, it's not yet to offer the staking program, right, for the HBAR holder, but before the HBAR, because before we can use staking on HBAR, we can have another better choice to utilize our coins, to utilize our capital to make great profit without human interfere, without our bad emotional behavior.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And Ben, you hear what Kenji's saying in terms of the consolidation periods? What do you think of that?
Yeah, I mean, it's that's the battle. Do you try to flip it every time it goes up and then sell it when it comes down so you can grab more of HBAR or whatever coin that you're trading, or do you just kind of let it ride and work its way through? But um, I definitely believe 100% HBAR has been in a massive consolidation and accumulation period, and you have had chances, on a number of occasions to take profit and sell and be able to rebuy at lower prices. If you can handle that mentally and emotionally, and it's not destroying your life, then maybe that's the way you want to run, and you can do it that way. Or you can look around for ways to help, just like what he was saying a minute ago, to help you with that.
I
So
mean,
it's
use more of a trade. I think a lot of, but the whole, the old hold on for dear life strategy that people employ. I do that a lot myself with HBAR because I have the confidence in knowing, and actually what you were saying earlier, I've been through that experience of 2017, and panic selling is real.
yeah,
It's definitely real. There is an emotional thing in your brain. I don't know what it is that, I can't lose any more money. And,
right.
and you know,
Well, you have to. I think that people kind of think a bull run is easy, to hold through, and I think it's more difficult than a bear market, honestly, because
oh, really?
the
I find it the opposite. I wonder what the
well,
meaning
okay,
thing.
I like bull runs better. I will say that. I think emotionally and mentally, for me, um, a bull run is more difficult because of the rechecks that happen during a bull run. So you've invested, and when you see
Explain that.
prices going up in a bull run, it's creating this stuff in your brain, these endorphins, joy and satisfaction and gratification and confirmation that you made the correct decision, right? You did it, and it's going up, and all this stuff is going great, and you're feeling so good. And then a retest happens. And so your brain starts to kind of go the other way, and you start thinking, is this it? Should I sell? Is it going to hold at the support that I think it might hold at? If it doesn't, then I've lost 30%. I could have sold. You end up selling at the bottom, then it does hold, then it goes up. You FOMO in at the top again. And so these bull markets, I think, are difficult to manage, if for one, if you're trading, and also if you're holding. um, at some point, for me, I'm in this to sell what I've invested in order to better my life and my family, and that's kind of why I do this. I also do it because it's fun. But I don't think there's anything easy about being involved in a bull run. It's way more fun. It's more euphoric, if you want to say that. Um, Bear runs are boring, and you're just trying to find when you should jump in and then hope that a bull run's starting. But I mean, I hear it from a lot of people that are on my Twitter. As soon as, like, HBAR makes a 10% move and I'll post a chart, hey, we just made a nice move, it's an immediate influx of DMs or comments of, how high is it going? When should we sell? When should I get out? What's the number? There's this thing in your brain that does that because you're so afraid that you're going to, miss out on some profits at the top and the whole thing's going to crash down and then you're going to wish you would have sold. So that's kind of my take on it. I mean, I think
I think that, some axiom in finance, from just having experience trading, like don't try to catch a falling knife. I mean,
right.
these things are only words until you've actually tried to do it or chase a speeding train.
Right. Exactly. I think for me,
I think it's natural to want to chase a speeding train.
oh, you do 100%. I mean, I did it for years and and I traded options as well. I think we talked about that a little bit, but, in the stock market, but, one thing that's really helped me, this time around and in this run, this bull run, is one, understanding momentum. I've talked about this in a few videos and how, momentum is a real thing. This isn't just something I'm making up, some kind of new revolutionary concept or whatever. I think it's a really, really, really cool, phenomenon, honestly. And, you see it in all types of things. In sports, you can see it very plainly. If anybody are sports fans, you have a team that's just destroying another team, right? And there's an obvious winner and loser at the time. And then at some point, the loser makes one little thing, makes one little play or makes one little score, and everything kind of starts to shift a little bit, like in everybody's brains. Like the losers are all of a sudden thinking, we can gain here. And then the winners are thinking, oh, are we really doing this the right way? And then that momentum continues to build and go back and forth until the losers become winners and the winners become losers. And this momentum, structure happens. And so I think it happens in life, it happens in sports, it happens in business. It definitely happens in crypto and in stocks. And so this bull run has I've really focused on this momentum. You see how long, I mean, it took years. To stop the downward momentum, of crypto in general. And for that to happen and for that to finally turn the corner and to start a new momentum in the uptrend, is something that I am really holding on to, and I have no plans on believing we're anywhere near the top until I see that this momentum has changed the other way, which takes a lot more than just a 30% dump or a 30% recheck on a bull run. So I'm looking at that, and you can play it that way in the market as well. You're doing well, right? You invested and you're gratified and you're satisfied, and the price is going up, and you're a winner. And then a dump happens or a recheck, and boom, it clicks in your mind. Oh man, did I make the right choice? Is this switching? And then the whole mental and emotional part comes into play. So there's some things I can share with you that have helped me, in this kind of emotional and mental trading, circle and, cycle that you can get in.
Yeah, I think that's really nice if you would share that with the community. And I'd also like to just mention that if you have questions for Ben or Kenji, please raise your hand and we can have some community. If you're struggling with anything about your strategy in buying or selling HBAR, just let us know. So, what were the tips you were going to tell us?
Well, yeah. So my first run, and I think according to my Twitter and people that I talk to, there's a lot of new people, in crypto, even over the past year, and that's great. Obviously we need it. Projects like HBAR needs new people to come in, but they are very, I say this not in a mean way, but they are very uneducated in the way that things happen. And so what happened to me in 2017 was me investing an amount of money that was larger than I had ever invested at that time in my life. And at that time, the business that I have now wasn't doing, we had just started it. I wasn't rolling in the money. Let's just say that. So it was a big decision for me to get in. And I see the pricing going up. And like I said, you all of a sudden get these starry eyes that this thing's going to just go forever. Where I went wrong is when my parents, when my neighbors, when people that could care less about crypto whatsoever started coming to me and asking, how do I buy the Bitcoin? Or they're saying it in the wrong way. They just want to somehow get involved. That was starting to be a signal for me. I can look back on that now and see that it was a signal for me that things were kind of getting too good to be true. But then the next day it goes up another 20%. And so this was the battle I fought with. I ended up, not losing money, but not making a whole lot. I could have made a whole lot. I left a ton of profit out there, and it was a big learning experience for me. So this time, I'm focusing on this momentum that I always talk about, and I'm understanding how much time and how much money and how many people and how many investors it takes to make this momentum happen and to change into an uptrend. And so I'm really focusing on that. But here's the things that have helped me during this time and what I'm really, really holding on to for this bull run. And these are my things. One is this: have a number that you're happy with. I've said it before. This number could be anything. It could be a number of HBAR that you hold. It could be a price that HBAR hits. It could be the total of your portfolio in general. So if you don't at least have that in your plan, I always call this a plan. I know it gets cliche to say have a plan, but you really do need to have something in order. Because as you know, or if you were around 2017, things start happening when they happen, or if they happen, I'll say. No predictions, but if or when that happens, it really, really happens a lot faster than you think. And then you're scrambling and you don't know what to do. So
That's
number one,
That's 100%.
yeah,
It happens. It'll happen. I really think one day, we're going to see HBAR go insane and people are going to be stunned.
yes, I believe that. I'm not going to say any numbers, but you can study the alt season that everyone talks about, that some people got to be a part of and some people didn't. New people did not, but they hear of this mystical alt season word. That was the most mental thing that I've been a part of ever, involving money and trading or investing, where coins, you would go to bed and you'd wake up and your coin has done a 10x overnight, and you think, well, it's over, and then at lunchtime it's done 10x again. And it's things like that were happening in a matter of 24 hours. And so if you don't have something in your brain or written down on a piece of my stuff's written down, like I had to do it this time, because I refused to make the same mistakes that I made the first time. So I have a number that I wrote down, and mine happens to be the value of my portfolio. So when the value of my portfolio hits a certain number, then that is when I am going to exit my positions. And I am sticking to that, and that is my plan. That might be completely different from your plan. I'm not telling you that you should do it that way, but you have to have something in mind, because when it does happen, if it does happen, it happens very quickly, and you can end up like I did in 2017, where you could have made a whole lot of money, ended up making just a little bit of money, and then that's the mental and psychological game that kicks in because
Yeah.
you left it on the table.
Yeah.
So that's a big one for me. The other big one that follows that, and this is huge, I think, for everybody, is that you have to be okay if everything keeps going up after you sell. Um, that can be a killer
That's
for
hard.
some people. It can be just as bad if it drops and you lose the money. It can be just as bad if you sell and it just flies up.
Yeah,
But if you hit your number and your plan has worked out, you are a lucky one, that your plan actually went according to the way you wanted it to. You hit the number, you got out. You have to be okay if stuff continues to go up. That's such a big thing for me, and I think probably for a lot of people. I say this all the time in Twitter. Everything I say on Twitter and everything I'm saying right now, I'm literally just I'm talking to myself right now. I'm banging this stuff into my head. So that's a huge one. Put it on your list. I think you should have that in your plan if you plan on selling. You have to be okay if it continues to go up. If it goes up, then you probably have learned enough to look for supports. If the momentum is still going, then you can re-enter if you want. There's that can happen. That's totally fine. But be okay if your plan goes according to how you wanted it to, and you made a good chunk of profit. It's okay if it continues to go up.
definitely.
So yeah, so that's a big one. Another one is I don't want to take all the time here, but I can go on forever. But another one another one is you cannot compare yourself to other people. So if you're on Twitter, which you guys are, obviously, there's such a wide range of accounts and people and lifestyles and economic status. $5,000 to somebody might not mean anything. $500,000 to somebody might not mean anything. So you cannot compare yourself to other people. And I try very hard not to post numbers. I did it one time and I even apologized after because I don't like posting stuff that I bought and how much I bought or whatever. Um, I just like to say, HBAR is my largest, and this is my second largest. This is my third, whatever. Because when you start seeing other people's numbers, um, again, it's the emotional and mental side that starts to kick in. You think, well, I don't have enough money in, or I haven't done enough, or why do they have so much and I didn't? It's because they got in lower than me. I suck. I failed. I didn't get in early enough. All this stuff starts coming into play. So remember that you're the one doing the investing. I mean, it's you. It's your money. It's not other people's money. You have decided to do this, and so comparing yourself to other people that are also doing it in a completely different lifestyle, completely different economic status, in a completely different country around the world is kind of ridiculous. But it's very hard for some reason. A lot of us do that, and literally, I'm saying that right now to myself as well. So um, I think that's a big one as well.
That is huge. I'd like to say hello to Sarah. And do you have a comment or question for Kenji? Or
Oh, hi, Elizabeth. Thanks so much for inviting Jerry and I up onto the stage. Greetings to everybody from a sunny Melbourne. And Kenji, we're on your side of the world. It's been really fascinating to hear what both Kenji and Ben has got to say. But I just wanted to hand over to my partner in crime at Sungrazers. This is Jerry, my husband.
sure.
Hi, Elizabeth. Thank you for inviting us. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Ben. He has literally changed our lives. And I am addicted to his YouTube channel. I start to get withdrawal symptoms when he goes over about 4 days without posting. But let me just kind of share where he fitted into our journey, which started about 10 years ago when we had moved to Australia. We were having a wonderful time filming this gorgeous land from the air. And our cameraman, a chap called Dan Rubok, moved to California. And we said, why are you going to California? He said, I'm going to work for a chap who trades in silver. So, okay. And about 6 months later, had the chance to go and visit him in California, where he was working, of course, with Mike Maloney. And Mike took me for a hair-raising ride in his Mark I Tesla before any of us had heard of Tesla. And we got very drunk into several evenings listening to Mike Maloney's philosophy on it. And during one of those, both Mike and Dan said, "We have met the most exciting man that either of us have ever encountered." And that man had a peculiar name that started with Lehman. And they had just interviewed him for Mike Maloney's series, The History of Money, which, if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go and watch the whole series. It's life-changing in its educational value. And so that was the start of our HBAR journey. And we didn't have the money to invest at the time. I wish we had. It was some ridiculously low amount at that point. But more recently, a couple of years ago, we did, and we got into it. And the internet, of course, is full of so much noise, and particularly YouTube, so much noise. And thankfully, this year, I found Ben. And Ben, you have fitted into our journey in a wonderful way, and I really want to take my hat off, particularly to your overall philosophy, because when you end your videos with "Okay, I'm going to go outside now and play with the kids, and then I'm going for a picnic, and you should all do the same," well, I might not take your advice right away because I've got to get all of your lines onto my chart. But at some point, about an hour later, we do go out for a walk, and it's the best advice we've ever received. So thank you, Ben.
Well, it's an honor to hear stuff like that. I would have never, seen myself in a position like this, even just to speak in a group like this. But it's helped me. People say, "Why'd you start a Twitter?" I started Twitter like in 2012, and I tweeted one thing, and I never tweeted anything again until February of this year. So my Twitter sat dormant for like 10 years, and it really gave me a place to kind of just say what I was feeling, say the things that were in my head, instead of just keeping it all inside there. It gave me a place to expel it, and get it out into the open. And I honestly did it as a beneficial thing for myself, like I've said a number of times. And then as people started jumping on, I thought, other people probably deal with this kind of stuff as well. And so I kind of focused my stuff more on that, not so much the hype and the predictions and the big numbers. I mean, we all want to see that so we can, change all of our lives. But there is something very important to, if you have a family, if you have a wife, if you have a husband, if you have kids, if crypto and trading is out of balance, I guess I would say, in your life, I personally would say you're doing it completely wrong. So I have found much more success, I would say, by not letting it take that big of a role in my life, even though I am heavily invested in it.
I think that's the community here that we're in the H Barbarians really does help hold and trade, as opposed to 2017 when there really wasn't any sort of community.
Yes.
We were all on our own, and you're talking to somebody when you're getting an oil change going, do you know anything about
Yes.
Bitcoin? Because you had no one to talk to.
Exactly.
So I think that's what I really enjoy most about the HBAR community is when the price is going up or down, we can all talk to each other and support each other. For our listeners to know, about the security aspect of your trading platform. We're very security conscious here in the Hedera community.
Yeah. For security, honestly, I have to say we are young and we are in in an early stage of our platform, and we are continuously working on to provide a better user interface and better user experience. And for security, we are currently is our main work on our first stage, on early stage, is that we collaborate with the third party custodian like Circle, which is a USDC issuer, and also Binance. We collaborate with Circle and Binance to store to use their wallet to store the users' crypto assets, and which is segregate with other wallets. So the user crypto asset will be stored safely in third-party custodian, and they offer 150 million insurance to protect those assets. And also we are currently apply the U.S. license, which is NSB, which is a security license for cryptocurrency, and we are working on it. And also, by the way, we just listing the HBAR on our platform, and for trading stable and safely, we are processing. We organize and design a coin listing. I think it's a coin listing policy, and we will scan and screening every coin, every token on our platform carefully, and we do hard work on we will do hard work and do diligence deeply on HBAR and other cryptocurrencies. So each cryptocurrency our BoxTradeExchange is all pass our screening and all pass our main criteria, main metric. And I think HBAR take great credit on this, especially in a social fundamental and also the third party audits. And also I think we all love the development and the prospect and the future roadmap about HBAR. And I want to share some ideas. Is that come from Ben? Yeah, I think I'm happy today and to share many things like what we are working on, what BoxTrade is saying, and also as an investor, as a trader. I am investor and trader like Ben, and I can share one behavior like emotional bias that usually traders they are facing is like the loss aversion. When the traders, I think we all face like there's some kind of situation is like when you face losses, when you hold, if you buy HBAR and 0.5, if you are new one in HBAR community, if you buy HBAR in a high level, you may face losses, unrealized loss right now. But you may have some fear and you are uncertainty about your future, about your asset, about your wealth. But these are very normal, and I think it's a general emotional reflection when you take trading, when you do investment. It's like when you face losses, you don't want to sell. You don't want to execute your stop loss or other. You don't want to stop, right? But when you win a lot of money, or when you earn some money, you want to take profit right away. Right, you want to immediately execute and get large profit, get your USDT or whatever you have in your pocket. It's not a emotional bias we usually face when you are not a ideal trader, right? And so I want to suggest and want to recommend some trader or investor, no matter what you are, HBAR holder or whatever you are. we should focus on the potential growth, like the adoption rate, like HBAR ecosystem and application, and still as the intrinsic value of HBAR and the data of HBAR, the usage, right? And also, you can imagine the ceiling of the HBAR expansion and the future you can imagine. If you didn't have any source of HBAR, or you even don't know what Hedera and HBAR are going to do, or even know what the application they may have in the future, I think you can hold it for a long time, and you can take great profit in the future, like in the next 5 years, next 10 years. So I think I would recommend most of the traders or investors to focus on the real value of what you are investing, and also try to imagine and try to do some research on the token you invest, and imagine what they can have to they can create, they can have innovate to you and bring to you. Okay, so and in the end, I want to send thanks the Hello Future, send to Elizabeth and Ben, share some great idea with us, and I want to do I want to say we currently have some support to HBAR trader investor. If you really want to experience some supportive, some great efficient tools like trading bots, and you can join BoxTrade and trade with us, and also we will have some free trading capital to let you experience our platform. So I think that's all. Thank you everyone.
I do want to thank Kenji for coming and introducing us to BoxTrade. And Brenda, what would you like to say?
Hi guys, really interesting conversation, and I too found Mike Malone many years ago. I think he was on video number 3 of his series, and he's the sole reason I ended up getting invested in HBAR. Back in 2018, when the repo crisis hit, I revisited his series and found HBAR in the latter episodes. So I was lucky to get in the bear market, and that's the sole reason I entered into the crypto market. It's a really interesting conversation, because when you look at the amount of adoption that is happening, I'd just like to know your thoughts on whether or not you think that this may be the last time this type of bull run happens, because it now seems that all these assets are turning into commodities, and I can't imagine them swinging off Bitcoin for much longer. Yeah, I'd just like to know your thoughts on that, because if you exit all of your position, you might not end up being able to buy back in. I believe that a lot of assets will drop a lot more than the utility ones. Yeah.
Ben, would you like to take that?
Sure. Yeah, it's the whole, this time's different thesis, and maybe it is. There are new variables to throw in this time. In 2017, it was the Wild Wild West, kind of. Coinbase was there, but no one really even knew what was going on. Not most people that were investing. And to try to compare that to now is pretty difficult. We're in kind of uncharted territory, honestly. Bitcoin has never, held a price this high for so long. The amount of institutional money that's now involved into the crypto world is massive. That didn't exist in 2017. I mean, it may be on a small scale, but it's, it's publicly known now that massive companies are heavily invested into the crypto market and have said they plan on not selling. So is this time going to be different? I don't know. All I can say is that I do know that the markets are very cyclical, meaning that they work in cycles. You can see it in the stock market as well. But yeah, the adoption of what he was talking about, the amount of adoption that is happening, it is a new variable to throw into this. Institutional money is a new variable to throw into this. I tweeted something out about my kids a few days ago, and just the way that their minds are thinking. They would rather have credits on their Xbox instead of US dollars. So they are different than us already. They already think that way. They see value. I know they're kids, but when I was a kid, I saw value in US dollars. I'll tell you that. So as kids now, they see value in some type of digital, currency, you can call it, whether it's Fortnite bucks or credits on your Xbox or whatever. So they're getting brought up that way. That's a whole nother variable to throw into this. So selling everything and wondering if you can buy back in lower, it's just, I guess, in my opinion, I think you will be able to, whether that is at very low prices again. That's yet to be said. Bitcoin took a really big dump, a couple months ago, but held well above its previous all-time high. So, and has regained strength almost back to the all-time high. So, we'll just have to. I mean, that's what I always say. We can only observe and see what happens. If you have your plan in place, then you can minimize your risk and your mistakes. But yeah, I do agree that there are many new variables now than there were 4 years ago when this happened.
Yeah, I really, I think in 2017, 18, and even 19, I was thinking the horse could be put back in the barn, and
Yep.
it's not going to be put back in the barn. It's just going to move forward. And I think that's one of the things that Hedera has over other current projects is also compliance.
Yes. Absolutely. I mean, real world usage, transactions, all these things that are happening makes you understand more that this thing's gonna stick around, and I was the same way that you thought as in 2017 when it went to 20,000 and then crashed in a matter of a couple weeks or a week or whatever that was. I thought, well, that was fun. See you later. And it's, it stayed low for forever. And then that's why you don't want to say this time's different, because that's the cliche thing to say, but it actually is different. It doesn't mean we're going to get a different result, but it actually is different because of the different variables that are at play now.
And in terms of adoption, I'll just end with there are, I'd say, definitely the majority of people in the world have no idea what we're talking about. Right. So in terms of us thinking that we've reached some kind of pinnacle of adoption, I don't think we're even crawling out of the baby crib yet.
Yeah, I would agree 100%. Yeah, people, I mean, I know a ton of people that don't even know what crypto is. So it's, obviously we say this all the time. It's very early stages. We've said it for years, and it is. But there's more clout to that now because of the adoption, because of the institutional money, because of even banks, because of countries buying this stuff. Things are different. They really are different this time. It doesn't mean that we won't see a big correction, but it does mean that things are different for sure.
Yeah. Well,
So
I want to. We're running a little late, but I wanted. It's just been such a great conversation, and I'm glad we had it. And I think we should have more about trading and preparing a plan. I think Ben, what the points that you laid out on people's uh, idea of what is their end game,
right.
if that end game is reached in a very quick way, that they can implement their plan.
Right.
So I would really encourage everyone to follow Ben and watch his charting and his YouTube channels. Thank you, Kenji Chen from BoxTradeExchange for coming on. It was really a pleasure having you, and we really appreciate all your words of wisdom, and we'll definitely look into your platform further. Thanks, Marla and Sarah and Jerry and everyone for coming to our spaces, and we'll do this again real soon. Thank you, and I'll end this by hello, future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Hello, future.
Thank
Peace out,
you.
everybody.
Peace out. Wag me.